Guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. In this week's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can install one of these LED tail lights on your motorcycle build, including the wiring and the installation, so stay tuned. So there's a few reasons you might want to wire up one of these LED tail hoop lights. First of all is purely aesthetic. The size difference between the original light on this Honda and the replacement LED is just enormous. Honestly, you just cannot imagine how much space it's saving. The original light doesn't fit with the lines of the bike. Sooner or later you are going to have to swap it out for something smaller, and this is a perfect replacement. Secondly, you might be looking for some weight savings. So this original light weighs something like 1.5 kilos. The new one probably doesn't even weigh 100 grams. So you're getting a 90% weight reduction, and it's going to cost you next to nothing. If you compare that to the cost benefit of doing a lithium ion conversion, you're probably going to be looking at $200 to do that conversion, including a regulator rectifier. You're going to save a similar amount of weight, possibly more, but it's going to cost you a huge sum of money. This will cost you less than $5. Third reason for doing this, as I just touched on, is price. If your old light isn't working, just the cost of a replacement bulb is probably going to be more than an LED tail strip, in all honesty. Certainly if you need to buy a new lighting unit, you're looking at $20 or $30 minimum. If you can get one of these installed for just a couple of dollars, it's going to be way easier and way cheaper than fiddling around trying to get the old one working. Finally, in terms of maintenance, longevity and safety, these old units have really crappy filament bulbs in it. You can replace them for LEDs, but that's going to cost far more than just buying an LED tail hoop. If you don't swap it over, the bulbs are going to be blowing all the time. It's going to cost you money over the long term to replace those. So these LEDs, they're going to last a lifetime. They're never going to need replacement. They're going to be a lot brighter than the old filament bulbs and a lot cheaper. So I've bought a tail hoop that has a recessed section for the light itself. That's going to be a nice clean finish. If you don't have one of these, it's not the end of the world. You can either glue the light onto your frame somewhere or insert it into the rear seat, some people are doing nowadays, or some of these kits come with little cable ties where you can subtly fasten it onto the bike. So I'm just gently putting the LED light into the tail hoop. I've pre-drilled a hole about 6 inches down on the frame so that the cable can come out, and I'm just using one of these small metal picks to free it out of the hole. I've talked about these picks loads of times before. They're absolutely brilliant. They only cost $1 or $2 online. I'll make sure I link them below. I've got no idea how thin these cables are, but they're certainly the thinnest I've ever had to work with, so much so that my wire stripper didn't work on it, and there's absolutely no way you're going to get a connector onto the cable alone. So what I did, I followed some advice that Cody over at the Motorcycle MD posted on his channel recently. I'll link that below. He's a Honda tech. Watch his video so you'll know this technique is legit. What he recommends is twisting the copper strands back on themselves so they go over the top of the insulated cable, and then put your connection on, crimping it over both the wire and the insulated wire, so you've got two returns effectively within that crimp. That just gives you a bit more body to lock onto and gives you a little bit more of a solid connection. I was a bit dubious about whether there would be good conductivity, but it seems to work absolutely fine, so thanks Cody for that tip. While I'm doing the boring task of putting these connectors onto these incredibly thin wires, why don't you scroll down below, hit that subscribe button. So with all the terminals connected, all we need to do is now go around them and work out which colour corresponds to which function. So I've got a little lithium ion battery here, the negative terminal connected to the black cable to this light. The black is normally the earth, so that should work. And I'm just going to go around and check the others. So first the green. So that's the indicator nearest where the cable comes in. Now it's important to note that I haven't got any sort of relay connected, so that may just stay solid until I've got the motor gadget connected up. So green is left on mine. White looks to be a brake light. Red is another brake light. and blue is my right turn. I'll have another look at red and white and work out the difference. Red. So it looks to me as if white is slightly dimmer than red, so red is probably brake and white is probably just my rear lights. So guys, one thing it probably is worth touching on with these LED tail hoop lights, which is pretty much the only drawback in my mind, is the spacing of the indicators. So here in the UK, for an MOT, which is your annual safety inspection, you need these indicators to be 240 millimeters apart. Now there's various debates on how you measure that, but this is 240 mil. And clearly, even to the outer extent of these indicators, there's absolutely no way you're going to get 240 mil of spacing on these. So in terms of getting these through your MOT inspection, they are a little bit dodgy. What I'm planning on doing is actually mounting some LED turn signals off the shock absorber bolts. Now measuring these, they're well over 240 mil, probably nearer to 300 mil apart. I can put a couple of temporary turn signals on there for the purposes of the MOT. That's why I've wired up two separate connectors so I can swap them over nice and easily when the annual inspection comes around. And it may be, to be honest, that for riding in London, I run those in parallel, so I've got a pair of indicators on each side, so one on the LED strip light and one back here on the shock absorber, just to give me a little bit more visibility. I've just wired up two connections on the lighting, one for the brake light and the running light, and one for the indicators. That means I can switch between the two nice and easily if I need to. Guys, so that's about it from this week's video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learned something. If you have, please do hit that like button below. I really appreciate it. If you haven't liked the video so much, or if you've got any questions or comments, please do shoot them to me below. I read all of them. I respond wherever I can. If you want to stay in touch and see how the build is progressing, we've got lots going on the channel. We've got the electrics tray is now finished. That's all welded up. That's all spray painted and ready to drop into the bike. So there'll be a video on that coming very, very soon indeed. It may be that I get part 2 of the engine rebuild video out sooner. They're quite big, they're about half an hour per video, so that does take a little bit longer to edit. Or the next video may be my new workshop, because I am moving in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, it's not going to be any bigger than this current unit. Hopefully it's going to be a bit warmer and a bit drier, and it's definitely going to be really near to my apartment. That should mean I'm in the workshop more, getting the progress going on this bike and getting the videos out more often. So if you're interested in seeing how I get on in a new workshop and how I get on with this Honda CB build, please do hit subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Cheers.